freezing out, and it rained a couple days ago, and then it froze. It's a good time to do this, but this is going to be my one piece. I'm going to snap off this segment here, use that. If I can break this guy real quick. Pretty tough. There we go. Take this and snap it into some trees. There we go. That's my piece. Go find some water for the canteen, fill it up. Just gotta fill up my canteen here and do a uh-oh. As I tell my little girl, it's not uh-oh if you do it on purpose. Fresh water here. Alright, canteen's filled up. Pull my guy out real quick. Alright. Let's find a place to get the stuff all set up. Start processing. Hi from my shadow. Stand here, stand still. So there's the stick there, and I just got it in the sun for a second. It's cold, but the sun still helps out for evaporating. But mainly what I'm trying to do here is trying to keep my shadow out of the way. Stripped off a couple pieces of birch bark that I'm gonna focus on those ones for starting the fire. So I've got those right out in the sun while I'm processing the other stick. So hopefully a lot of the moisture is gone from them. So I got a little stove set up here with stones, and this is part of the strategy of what I'm doing. Basically, I've cooked off water plenty of times with just birch bark, no wood alone. So I figured I was going for birch, plus it's my best bet at getting fire started, especially if I'm trying to do fire steel. And a stove like this makes it much more efficient. You're not going to lose heat, you know, to the wind or anything like that. So I just set these rocks up so that they'll hold my canteen like that. Plenty of space under there for air from all sides. And just gonna get some water in here. Then I'm gonna start processing the wood. So I'm gonna start processing this log here, and I'm just gonna do it with a caveman style, with a rock. This is, for one thing, this is a piece of quartz I'm going to use for my fire steel. I'm not using it as like a little hand cutter, but other than that, I can't find like a lot of quartz to cut with or anything, and honestly, I don't even want it. This is much more efficient to me. You can judge for yourself in a moment. And I got my coat laying right there just to put stuff on so I can transport stuff back to my fire after it's disintegrated, basically. So I'm just going to use a rock to split this stuff. Like this. This is a big guy, so I need to break him first. Get my birch bark here off so I can see what's going on with the stick. Yeah. It's starting to split. Broken half. And what's left here is already, well, it's already taken a beating, so it's starting to, you know, loosen up the wood. You'll see in a second. once it's starting to split, you can do it more controlled. I just had to beat it. See? I just had to beat it real good to get it started because it was a big log. Sorry, we thought the camera cut out there for a second. We're just double checking. So I'm still just breaking this thing apart. Much more controlled now though. So you can see I'm splitting it right down. And since it's pulverizing pretty small, that's why I need my my coat. But that's it. I mean, look at that one piece and what I'm getting out of it, you know? And I'm basically just gonna keep doing that until I'm through this whole thing. And then I'll process the birch bark by hand and get the different sizes of wood into, you know, separate piles, and I'll show you that just before I, you know, get the fire ready to go. But that's how I'm processing it, and I believe it's a much more efficient way, especially when it's cold and you got big gloves on. Not what I don't today, but you know, caveman style is much more efficient than trying to, you know, work with a stick or, you know, pieces of rock with your hand on them, you know, and stuff like that. This is easy. Okay, so got a rock here weighting down a piece of birch bark. I got this piece of birch bark roughed up, and I got a couple little pieces ready to go. So, and a piece of quartz fire steel, a piece of quartz. Objective now is flame. Keep the flame going with the birch bark. Then I'm gonna probably move this into my little stove area, and then slowly build the fire there. But I've got tons of birch bark, you know, a couple little pieces of wood ready to go. But I'm gonna have to nurse this thing because that wood, yeah, I don't know what it looked like on camera, but it's still pretty damp. So let's give it a shot here. Sometimes this is easy, and sometimes it is very hard. We shall see. Find a good, easier way to Alright, I had to flip it over, try this again. Got some little tinder here. Hopefully it's a little more to get going, or not tinder, but birch. Find a cutting edge on this thing.
Break it and make a sliver.
Right. Just broke off a piece there. Let's see where that guy came off from here. Here we go. Actually, let's just try that first. Alright. Alright. Just gonna move this into the area here and keep the flame going with birch bark first. I'll throw a couple pieces of wood in here with them, but I primarily just want to get a little mini fire, coal bed, whatever, going with birch first, because I got wet bark and I can't, wet wood, and I can't really afford to have this thing go out. So I'm going to rely on the birch solely first. Even though I have a big flame, I can't put big pieces of wood in there. Once that birch goes out, if they're not dry enough to keep going on their own, they won't keep going. So you need to be careful with that. Put a couple bigger pieces in there. And now the third key ingredient to a fire, because I want this stuff dried out. I need an inferno in here. Oxygen. Alright, I'm going to put the canteen on for a minute just so that I capture that heat, but I'm probably going to pull it on and off for a minute while I'm tending to the bed itself, because I don't want to smother it. So that's roll and boil if you can't see it, and it's still cooking hot, and I'm just gonna give it a good blow just to crank this thing right up. But the stove's working great, real efficient. Well, yeah, if that ain't a boil, I don't know what is. So, still plenty of sticks here too. I mean, I used mostly birch bark, you know, to be honest. Stacked it with what wood, you know, I needed, but other than that, that's that.